we're gonna have assault, support, and security. Okay, we are going to operate under the assumption that we are in our ORP. What does ORP stand for?
Objective rally point.
Objective rally point. Okay, and have we come up with an SOP on what our ORP is going to look like? Go ahead. Patrol base. Okay. What other ways or what other methods have we taught? Cigar shape, right? So now that we're transitioning out of squad tactics into platoon tactics, we need, if you guys haven't done so, we need to figure out what's going to be your guys' main, what is going to be your SOP for an ORP. Okay, so at camp, it's going to depend on whatever that platoon comes up with. Okay, when I was at camp, I had one cadet come up, she was PL day one. I was like, hey cadet, I need you to give me an ORP class. And she started going up there in cigar shape, and everyone was kind of confused because at her program, that is what she was taught. So again, we teach you guys both ways for that reason, but what does doctrine say an ORP should look like? A triangle, right? A triangle formation. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using a triangle patrol or a triangle shaped ORP versus a cigar shaped ORP? Okay, let's start with a cigar shape. What's an advantage of having the cigar shaped ORP? You guys remember this?
You're limited to 2 entrances or exits.
Machine gun, assault 1, assault 2, security and headquarters, right? That's what we talked about? Yes? Okay, we could say assault 1, actually be security, assault 1, assault 2. Right? What's up?
So readjustment of security is a lot easier in the cigar shape because you
Okay.
don't have to do anything.
Okay, so what would kind of be, think operations order, okay? What would be a reason why you may want to use your this versus this? Go ahead.
Same as transition when you're.
I mean, here you kind of said that. What else?
Time.
Time. That's the answer that I'm looking for, is time. If you're thinking about your operations order, how much time do you have after you receive the mission to be time on target? If you know you're moving 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers versus 500 meters, I know it's a bad example. Well, maybe you'll have more time to set up your traditional, your doctrine-based ORP versus, hey, we're running out of time, Frago, let's transition to a hasty. Okay, so that's how I break these two down. This is a hasty ORP, and this is more of a deliberate ORP. Okay, so for today, we're gonna operate under the assumption that we have time, and we're gonna set up our ORP as doctrine states. Okay. You guys are all familiar with how we break this stuff down. I don't need to go over any of that, right? Did we cover this? I think we covered this, right? Yeah. I'm getting some kind of like, I don't know. Do we need to go over how we break this down from leaders recon out, what happens to security? Do you guys remember that?
It'd be a good refresher.
A good refresher? Okay, let's do that. Okay. No, you're good, you're good. I'm like you, I'm like, did we cover that? I don't know. Okay. That's why it looked funny. I had my triangle all inverted. Is that the right word? Inverted?
Upside down.
Upside down? Because I was inverted. Top gun, love it. Okay, what position is this? Is it inverted? Was I right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was figuring out. I'm like, fine. What is this?
2.
And this is?
6.
Okay, what is here?
Gun 2.
Gun 1.
Gun 1.
Gun 1.
What is it?
That's a 2.40 or gun 1 or?
I'm asking you guys. I'm
Gun
hearing
one.
3 or 4 different.
Gun 1.
What is this?
Gun 2.
And who's down here? Okay. Who is up here?
Security.
Who's here?
Assault 1. Assault 1.
Assault.
Let me do it. Okay, who's over here?
Assault 1.
you guys remember how to occupy this? Please tell me yes. Because this is not an ORP class, this is an ambush class.
Yes.
Okay, why? Do you remember how to do this? Okay, so when you, who's the PIs for Thursday? 1, 2, 3, there's only 3 PIs, there's not 4?
Well.
Yeah, right? Does that sound about right? Okay, so when you guys are giving your class, I want you to start from the ORP. You don't have to give them a class on going through it, but start in the ORP. Okay, but traditionally how we do this, you know, they go, leaves recon, they identify the 10 and 6, all that stuff, come back in, security, assault 1, assault 2, bing, bing, boom. Okay. All right, so we're operating the ORP. We're going on an ambush somewhere out here, it's a road. So who's going on the leader's reconnaissance for this objective?
I was taking one. I was going with one.
All squad leaders. All squad leaders. S&O.
Okay.
That's not.
Okay. Okay. Who else? What does it say in the Ranger Handbook on the composition of the leader's reconnaissance party? Pretty sure that was on one of your guys' quizzes or midterms or.
Surveillance team.
What's up?
Surveillance
That's
team.
S&O.
And forward observer.
From your leader's reconnaissance party.
Squad leaders. Surveillance team.
So we don't have an FO, we have RTO. So what page is that on, Pascal?
It's on 7-9.
7-9. Weird. It's like right above where we're at. Ambush. Composition of leaders reconnaissance. Squad leaders, including the weapons squad leader. S&O team, forward observer, and security element. Okay? So your S&O team. Did we teach you that you guys are going to take that from Assault 1 or Assault 2 for your S&O team? Assault 2? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to, the reason why we taught that at the squad level is just because Manning, we couldn't really, we couldn't do it any other way than the way that we taught you, because for this scenario, you're going to be utilizing your security squad as your left flank, your right flank, and your security element. And I'll get to that here in a second, but we're no longer taking anybody from Assault 1 or Assault 2. If you guys are kind of confused on it, I don't remember if I told you to take Assault 1 or Assault 2 as an S&O team, but for Platoon, you're going to just use your security squad for the S&O team. Okay? All right, so PL, RTO, all squad leaders, and your security squad. Okay, the alpha team leader of your security squad, who is that? He's your point man. So when you guys are doing your mission planning and preparation for this objective, that alpha team leader or security squad is normally going to be tasked with what part of the operation? What else? The route plan, right? So that alpha team leader is kind of like, he'll kind of either lead you to success at advanced camp, or he'll really screw you over and get you guys lost at advanced camp. So make sure when you guys are PLs, you guys are selecting someone that knows how to land nav well, or you guys are going to get kind of screwed over. Okay, anyways, so we have security squad, assault 2, assault 1, the headquarters elements in the center, and the PL is going to call these guys to the center. Right, do we need to take the entirety of security squad for the leader's reconnaissance, or for the 5-point contingency plan? Yeah. No, we don't. Okay, we're just gonna bring that security squad leader. You guys remember how we did the Tower of Power, how we brought everybody in? Okay, that's at the platoon level. When you guys are out at lab and FTXs and stuff, something that I'm gonna tell the fours to pay attention to is that you guys are conducting a roll call prior to disseminating any of that 5-point contingency plan out. Because it happens time and time again is when that PL is just like, okay, I gotta get everyone in here. Is everybody here? Yeah, cool, okay, here's the 5-point. You know, we're going on a leader's reconnaissance, and I'm like sitting here counting like, who are we missing? You know, so before you guys start your brief, just make sure you guys have everybody there, do a head count, squad leaders, assault 1 here, assault 2 here, take the 30 seconds to do that before you spit out that information. Okay, so you're gonna call in your leaders reconnaissance party or element, and who you're giving your 5-point contingency plan to. PSG, okay. Do we need to go over what a 5-point contingency plan sounds like, or are you guys comfortable with that?
Good.
Okay. All right, so they come in, 5-point contingency plan, spits it out to the platoon sergeant, and then where does a platoon sergeant and medic go?
Stay in the middle.
Okay, they gotta go to whatever apex or whatever portion of that ORP to establish a choke point. Let's just say they're gonna go right here. Okay, so what do we have to do before we leave? What's gonna happen when we pick up security squad?
You readjust.
We just need to readjust security, right? So that kind of goes back to, do we want to do hasty or do we want to do by doctrine? Because one of the benefits of hasty is you don't have to readjust that security. So you as that PL, is you need to make the decision before that 5-point contingency plan if you want security readjusted before you do that, or have the platoon sergeant readjust security after you guys leave. Doesn't really matter, okay? It's not matter. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. Okay, so you guys all pick up, go out that choke point, platoon sergeant counts you guys out, and then we kind of readjust security. Okay, we readjust into that cigar-shaped security, okay? So everyone's out. I'm just gonna move this, make this a little bit smaller down here. Okay, so this is our ORP. Do you guys want to do a linear or do you want to do an L shape?
L shape. Linear.
Wow, okay.
We never do.
Well, maybe I should draw this L shape a little bit differently then. I don't want to draw that. Just coming this way. L shape. At camp, I don't think you guys will do one L shape. They're all linear. Food for thought. All right, so how far are they going to move to, where are they moving to from the RP? They're gonna move to their tentative release point. Okay, and how far is that release point from the objective? 50 to 100? Out of sight, but not necessarily out of sound of the objective. How far is your ORP supposed to be? 400 meters, 200 to 400 meters. One train feature away.
It doesn't range.
What does doctrine say?
Halfway between objective and ORP.
Doctrine says 100 to 200 meters at nighttime or limited visibility, 200 to 400 meters at daytime or good visibility. Preferably a train feature away. MET-TC dependent. That's what doctrine says, okay? All right, so these guys are moving. They get to their tentative release point. Hey, we got one here. I forgot to cover comms with you guys. Okay, yes, they're at the release point, okay? But before they left, how many radios do we have in the platoon?
5.
No.
6.
6. All squad leaders, PL platoon sergeant. Sorry, I'm backtracking, but this is kind of important. You got 6 radios. Okay, who needs radios for the objective?
Yes, no.
S&O.
Security.
Left side security. Right side security. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Weasel.
Platoon sergeant. Weapons squad leader. Okay, so assault 1 and 2, those radios don't need to be on those squad leaders. So when you guys are doing your, kind of giving your operations order and you're doing your mission preparation, that is when you guys would kind of issue out the radios to the people that actually need them. So you don't get to the release point like we just did, and like, oh fuck, I forgot about my radios. Okay, that'll happen. Usually at camp, what you guys do is you guys will lay out a poncho, lay out all your equipment in there in the center of the patrol base, get accountability, and then that PL will kind of distribute out who gets what equipment, okay? The reason why assault doesn't need their radios is because that PL or that platoon sergeant is going to be co-located with them, so they don't need the radio, okay? You need a radio on the left side, you need a radio on the right, you need a radio with the S&O team, which is, will be the security squad leader, so he'll keep his own radio, and the PL platoon sergeant, okay? Combo plan hashed out. All right, they get to the RP. What's the first thing they do when they get to the release point?
Seal salt.
Seal salt, okay? What movement formations are they moving in from the ORP to the release point? Didn't we establish some type of SOP for how we leave the ORP moving to the release point? Order of movement, like how are we gonna move tactically from the ORP to the RP?
We got security squad up front with the point man.
So we got security squad all the way up front. So that's squad integrity, right? Does everyone know what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah.
That way it's easier.
Alpha team, Bravo team, that's security squad. And then behind them we have who? PL and RTO. What about these guys?
They're in a wedge behind.
They're in a wedge behind them, right? So then you got the PL, RTO, and then you got your squad leaders hanging out in the back, minus the security squad leader, because he's up front with the squad, okay? So you could essentially have the three squad leaders, the PL and RTO, kind of just form one big wedge, if you want. But that's kind of how we move from there to there. All right, so we get to the release point, we conduct a seals halt. The PL is gonna radio up to higher, let them know that you guys are at the RP, and then hopefully the platoon sergeant knows you're at the RP. What is the platoon sergeant doing right now in the ORP? Disseminating the 5-point ruck plan. Okay, so do these guys have their rucks on them right now?
No.
Why not?
Because they
Going to wall halt?
tactically from the retreat on back to the RP.
Okay, so yeah, they're gonna be conducting, or he's gonna be making a ruck plan. Okay, what is our ruck plan? Do you have an SOP for that? So it's essentially just like a platoon formation, right? You have first squad, second squad, third squad, weapon squad. All right, put your guys' rucksacks on the ground if you're standing in formation, and then take away the people, and then you have a ruck plan. Every squad has their own line. You can, if you want, first squad has their rucks with their rucks down, or the ruck frame down. Second squad has their rucks flipped up with the ruck frame up. Third squad has theirs angled this way, fourth squad. You can do that if you want. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because if you guys have to egress back to the ORP and grab your rucks, everyone is just gonna grab it and leave, okay? Have some type of organization to that though, okay? All right, so we're at the RP, we call it up, now it needs to happen. We already talked about what's going on at the ORP, platoon sergeants handling all that stuff. Okay, we need to pinpoint the objective. Okay, who's going to pinpoint the objective? The PL and the S&O team and the RTO. Okay, so that S&O team, what is gonna be the composition? Who's gonna make up that S&O team? Preferably.
Security squad.
No, the 2-man S&O team from security squad. What weapon systems do we want up at that on that S&O team?
A saw.
A saw and a grenadier, okay? An M249 and a grenadier. You can keep them from the same fire team, or you can take Alpha team saw, and you can take Bravo team's grenadier. Doesn't really matter. I would prefer you guys to take a 249 from Alpha team and a grenadier from the other team, so that way when they actually break off to their left and right security, the numbers are the same. They have 3 people at both points. Make sense? But you're not wrong if you keep them from the same team, okay? All right, so the PL is gonna take himself, his RTO, a saw gunner, and a grenadier. Okay, and then they're going to move to get eyes on the objective, okay? So we know that we wanna do an L-shaped formation, or an L-shaped ambush. Okay, for this scenario, the enemy is traveling from right to left. Here's my north-seeking arrow, so they're traveling from east to west. Okay, so they go up and they start getting eyes on the objective. Okay, what are they looking for after they pinpoint the objective?
TRPs.
Okay, so they're looking for, obviously they pinpointed their objective. They're looking for their kill zone, where they want to kill their enemy. They're looking for a tentative left limit, a tentative right limit. They're looking for a tentative LOA. They're making sure that they have good observation and fields of fire on the objective area. So although, yes, this is my kill zone, what if there's a whole bunch of trees in front of me that will impede that? And that's kind of more specific for your assault line, and your support by fire line. But if the PO is kind of squared away and he or she can assess the terrain that they're operating in, then like, yeah, we can make it happen from here. All right, so the PO, they got eyes on the objective. Okay, so for an L-shaped ambush, okay, where do we want to put our assault and where do we want to put our support by fire? If we know that the enemy is traveling down the road this way, where's my assault going to be? On the north, okay? The north side of the road. And where's my support by fire going to be?
West.
On the west side, okay? So as an S&O team, for an L shape, it's a little bit, it's not tricky, it's just different from your standard linear ambush. You gotta figure out where you wanna place that S&O team. Okay, it doesn't say doctrinally where exactly that S&O team should be placed. On a linear ambush, usually you wanna put them, right in the center of that kill zone so we can see everything. But if you know that your support by fire is gonna be here and your kill zone is gonna be tentatively right here, then maybe you put them off kind of at an angle so you can see both directions. That's not a bad idea, but you also may not be able to see the kill zone from that. So you as the PL need to figure out like, hey, where do I want to place my S&O team that can have best eyes on the objective? Maybe it's just down one road, the direction that the enemy's coming from. Maybe it's over here where you want the support by fire. I don't know. That's gonna be a decision that you guys are gonna have to make as that PL, okay? Me personally, again, this is what Sergeant Spangler would do. I would put them right here so you can kind of see what's coming down the road, okay? All right, so we'll just say S&O team, they come out, we're gonna set them right here, okay? And again, that's a 249, and that is a grenadier. Are they both looking at the objective? How are we gonna line these cadets up or these soldiers up? Who's gonna be facing the objective?
Saw.
The 249. Okay, he's facing the objective and the grenadier is facing the other way, okay? All right, and these guys are nothing more than, leg on leg contact. I'm laying this way, you're laying that way, and we can feel each other with our feet in case someone's falling asleep, wake them up. Or if you see someone, that's a way to like, hey, there's people over here. Okay, so what are we gonna tell them? What is the PL gonna tell them after he emplaces them? Engagement and disengagement criteria, but what else? A 5-point contingency plan. Okay, so that you can kind of roll those two things in one. Okay, yes, I understand a standardized 5-point contingency plan is the GOTWIL format that we're hopefully all familiar with. But we also need to include that disengagement criteria. Like, hey, if there's a kid kicking a soccer ball down the road, like, don't engage. If you got 4 to 6 armed enemy on your position, I want you to put that weapon or initiate a cyclic rate of fire with that saw, spray as many of them as you can get, and then egress back to the RP, something like that. Before you leave, do a quick radio check with them. Okay, this will happen at camp. You guys will do your radio checks in the ORP. You guys get out to target. You don't do a radio check, and then you're trying to get a hold of them for whatever reason, but they lost their feel or something happened. So just do a quick, hey, this is me, good check. All right, cool. All right, S&O team is in place. So who's still back at the RP right now?
PSG.
So the rest of the security squad and all the squad leaders, right? Okay, so what is the next step in setting up our leaders reconnaissance? Left and right security. Why?
Isolate the objective.
Isolate the objective.
You have some sort of cover when you're setting in the subordinates all line.
Have some sort of cover. What does doctrine say? Security has to be established before you start finishing your leader's recon. In a nutshell, that's what it says. Okay, so going back to what I was saying about the security halts or the ORPs, the hasty or deliberate. You guys need the leader's reconnaissance is the most important part of your objective. It's the absolute most important time. 9 times out of 10 at advanced camp, the PL is going to set his S&O team and be like, oh yeah, there's the objective. Hey, that's a good kill zone. Yeah, that's a good assault line. Yeah, I'll put my spore by fire. Okay, let's go, recon complete. No, that's not what you're going to do, or that's not what you should do. So as much time as you have to prepare for that mission, when you receive your order as a PL, when you receive that order, like you're gonna be the one that's staying awake throughout the night, planning, preparing yourself for that mission, doing a good time distance analysis of how long it's gonna take you to move from point A to point B. But you have to afford yourselves enough time to successfully do this leader's reconnaissance. Because what's gonna happen at camp is you guys are gonna rush, and you guys are gonna get compromised, and then you guys are gonna lose your fucking shit because the Mongolian horde is gonna come out there and get you, and then you're getting assessed, and you just got a U on your blue card, or a C. C's will be fine. You guys will pass, but apologize for that. It's ISIS. Okay. Bottom line, you guys get my point. Make sure you guys spend the time in preparing for this and giving your guys enough time to do this leader's reconnaissance. Okay, lost my train of thought. Where are we right now?
Left and right limits.
Security. Okay, security. All right, so does anybody remember the 2 different ways we can set in our security? Anybody else?
Decentralized and centralized.
What?
Centralized and decentralized.
Centralized and decentralized. The centralized method or the decentralized method? Carrie, give me an example of what the centralized method is. Don't know. Gothro. Centralized method.
I do not know.
Put your hands down. Bergie, centralized method. It's not going to be in there. Nope. It's not going to be in there. Apply there.
Where you go and separate yourself.
Yes, okay. So what does doctrine say as far as in placing security? It says in here, what does the Ranger Handbook say about in placing security? I don't know where it's at, but I know it says it in here. It says the PL in places security. That's all it says. Somewhere in here. I read it in a book. The PL will place security, okay? So in the old Ranger Handbook, before this new version came out, it said the PL will basically walk and in place them physically. Okay, so again, going back to how much time you have will determine if you can do the centralized or decentralized. Okay, so if we were back here at the RP and we're good on time, maybe we say, fuck it. Maybe we just, hey, decentralized method, go set in your security so that if you're already ahead of time, why don't you just stay ahead of time even more? Okay, don't like sacrifice the time you have. This time is precious. So if you're ahead of time, then go for it. Get them out there. Okay, so we're gonna do the decentralized method. Left side and right side. Yes.
So if you do choose to do the decentralized method, is there a way to, or is there a necessity to have them radio up their positions so that you have an idea of where they are?
Yeah, and that'll go back to what you guys originally planned on, okay? So I always plan my missions in the way that I want to execute, in the way I want to execute it. So if I wanted to brief decentralized, then I'm going to plan, we're going to brief a decentralized method. But if I plan for a centralized method and then I fraggle it to a decentralized method, there's nothing wrong with that. However, you guys still need to be able to have those, like, what is it called? SOPs already established to know exactly where you guys are going. That is why I said when you guys are allowing those squad leaders to plan and conduct rehearsals in the patrol base like nobody ever does for some reason, that is what that time is for. Afford them, what is it, the 1/3, 2/3 planning, right? So that is what that time is for, is to get the squad leaders to get that alpha team leader from security squad or that Bravo team leader from security squad to say, hey, we are planning to do a decentralized method or centralized method, meaning the PL is gonna walk us to our point. However, if we get a call saying decentralized, this is the route we are going to take, and this is how we're going to get there, okay? I know it seems like, well, yeah, no shit, but that's the stuff that you guys will forget and just like, oh my God, I don't know what we're gonna do, okay? All right, so decentralized. So is this gonna be my left side or is this gonna be my left side? L shape. I know, right? Like, oh, well, it depends on how you're looking at it. So you're saying this is left side and this is right side?
Yes.
But this is left side and this is right side.
Point of view is supporting.
Right, so it's gonna be in the direction that you guys are moving from. Okay, so if this is your RP, right, and the objective, and you're walking to the objective this way, this is gonna be left side, this is gonna be right side. Okay, left side security, so however you want it broken down, if Alpha team is gonna be left side and Bravo team is gonna be right side, then do that. So you tell PL is gonna say, okay, decentralized, security is going to set in, boom. All right, so what's the one thing that we're not gonna be able to do since we're not doing centralized? What do we typically do when we replace somebody? Engagement, disengagement criteria, right? So that's the stuff that you have to brief right there in the RP, okay? And something like a 5-point contingency plan is some cadre would want that Alpha team leader and that Bravo team leader to have them give that PL a 5-point contingency plan. I've seen it done that way. What I would prefer is for that PL to be like, hey, the time is now, you guys have this amount of time to get set in, I need you to radio up when you guys are in place. That was just a quick example of what I would like to see, but it's nothing more than that. Cover some engagement criteria and just let them go.
So you don't need to go through like all the, like DOT, you don't need to go through that, or?
I mean, you can, yeah, you can, but ultimately, like if you do that, the centralized planning, and you set them in, you're saying, okay, I'm taking my PL with me, the time I'll be gone, but you're not coming back to them, right? So when you're setting in when you're doing your leaders reconnaissance, like that 5-point contingency plan is just to check the block, but it's also, the more important part is to like what to do if they take contact. And that's kind of more the disengagement, or disengagement criteria, okay? Does that make sense? So like, yes, you can give them that 5-point, but it's not gonna be your standard going others, time, what, actions, okay? That 5-point is really designed more for like PL to platoon sergeant, what happens if we take contact, that kind of stuff, okay? All right, so left side goes, they get set in. Right side security goes, they get set in, what's up?
So for the security, you want them to be within sound, but should they have eyes on the objective as well? Like be
No.
within, okay.
Good question, okay? So, security. We haven't covered, I think we covered a little bit, we mentioned it, about like what are your guys' what are your mission, your tasks? What is your tactical task? Do you guys remember me covering those with you? Attack to seize, attack to defend. Like those are all tactical mission tasks. If you are a task to subordinate unit, so if my PL is tasking me, saying, hey, we are a security squad, we are tasked with isolating the objective. Purpose is to prevent, purpose is to allow freedom of maneuver on the objective. So my task is to isolate the objective or contain the objective. We are not looking at the objective, we're outside looking out. Does that make sense? So if this was my right side security, we would be from here looking this way. Same thing with left side, we are looking out, because what are we ultimately doing out there?
Scouting.
Okay, scouting.
Making sure nobody's.
Specifically left side security.
They're waiting for the target.
They're waiting for the enemy to come down the road, right? So that's our early warning kind of, hey, PL, they're coming, okay? As far as how far they are from the objective, that's again gonna be up to the PL, okay? And it'll also kind of go back to your brief or what intel you have on the enemy. Are they walking or are they driving? Because if they're walking, it's gonna take them a little bit more time to get the objective, so you have a little bit more time to relay that message, and you have just more time to prepare. If they're driving, maybe you need to extend a little further out to let them know that they're coming. Makes sense, right? Common sense? Okay. Something that kind of failed to cover again with that combo plan, the same thing goes for special equipment. Okay, so what is something that they should have with them? Claymore AT4, okay? AT4 is something that you'll see here. At camp, I had AT4s in my platoon. None of the other platoons have them, or had them, because they didn't want them. I wanted them. So at camp, you may get them, you may not get them, but it's always a good idea to request those, because AT4s can do bad things to enemy, right? So Claymores if you have them, and AT4s. Left side security set, right side security set, they call up to the PL. Then what's the next step?
Support. I was gonna set in the support line.
Set in the support. Why not assault? Doesn't, go ahead.
Support has a lot of power, has most like weapons.
Yeah, they have the most combat power in the platoon.
So if they come like while you're setting in, then you can.
Yeah, that's also why we have that S&O team is outfitted with the SAW, because that just became an intermediate base of fire if anything goes down on the objective. Okay, so the PL is going to take who with him?
Weasel and the RTO.
Weasel and RTO. Okay. Is there anything wrong with taking all the squad leaders? Yeah, I would bring all the squad leaders with me. Why?
That they understand what the support's gonna be seeing also.
Not necessarily what they're going to be seeing, but where they're at, where exactly they're going to be at, right? It kind of gives that. If I'm the assault squad leader, I want to know exactly where the support by fire guys are at. Okay, so traditionally, you weren't wrong. Technically, when you go up there, the people that are actually doing the reconnaissance is the PL, the RTO, and the weapons squad leader, while the other squad leaders just hang out. All right, so get the weapons squad leader up there first, have him kind of pick out his tentative locations. Because the weapons squad leader is going to have more knowledge and more experience, has expertise on his squad, what their capabilities are, and stuff like that. PL, I'm not saying that they don't. Some PLs squared away, some not, but lean on that weapons squad leader. Okay, so S&O team, they're still there. All right, so we come up, we kind of set in right here. What do we need to establish first? Security's already established. Okay, what else? Your PLD. Okay, so what does your PLD stand for? What's PLD? Probable line of deployment. Okay, so we're gonna come up here, we think like, hey, this is good. We're gonna establish a PLD. Does everyone remember what a PLD is?
At the last point where if you go past it, they can see.
Yeah, it's essentially, we call it the military crest. It's essentially if this is a hill, right, and I'm walking, and I'm still covered by this hilltop, then that's the military crest. The PLD would probably be that line on top of the hill where as soon as I pass this line, the enemy can see me. So therefore, I need to do what? Start low crawling, okay? All right, so we establish a PLD, and we start crawling up to get the eyes on the objective, okay? So the things that we're looking for, again, good observation and fields of fire on the objective. So we can see everything here. We've already established our kill zone. We're gonna look for tentative left limit and then tentative right limit. We'll just use the road, okay? And we're gonna also be looking for good covered and concealed withdrawal routes. So if we need to break contact or for whatever reason, we have good cover and concealment behind us to our flanks. And we're also, our position is not likely to be flanked by the enemy, so avoid being flanked from the enemy. So those are kind of 4 big things, and it's in your Ranger Handbook in your 321.8. So after you kind of check mark all those, then you would kind of go looking into establishing some TRPs. Okay, so the tricky thing about, or the difference between an L shape and a linear ambush is the TRPs from here, or what they're seeing, is not kind of like the same point of view of what they're actually seeing. So again, if this was a linear ambush, and we had our support by fire up here, and we had our assault over here, or whatever way, it doesn't matter, and we say, hey, this tree here is TRP1, this is TRP2, and this is TRP3, we all can kind of see that from left to right. But on that L shape, it's kind of a little different, because these guys are going to be shifting fires this way and not swinging away from the assault force. They are swinging away from the assault force, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So TRPs, right? So we have a road. So maybe we just call TRP1 the near side of the road. Maybe we call TRP2 the center of the road. And maybe we call TRP the far side of the road. That's probably not a good example, but that is kind of what I'm getting at. You guys need to identify something out here that is going to be a TRP so they can shift fires as they're moving across the objective. Okay? And obviously, natural terrain, bends in the roads, a rock, a bridge, I don't know, anything that's out there can be utilized for TRPs. All right, TRPs are established. He's got good, the weapon squad leader is saying, hey, yeah, this is going to be my gun 1 position, and this is going to be my gun 2 position. I have some tentative sectors of fire for gun 1. I have some tentative sectors of fire for gun 2, kind of going through all that stuff. All right, so once that is done, you can bring up the remaining squad leaders so they can see what weapon squad's going to see, and then you guys move back. You can go back to the RP, or you can just cloverleaf and try to recon the assault line. Highly doubt you're going to go back to the RP because you guys got to move up here. So once you're done with, what's that?
Looking at support, since left side security is all the way down range of them, is there a limit where you can turn like an apex, so you're not shooting at your own guys?
Yeah, no, good point. So how far away from, what is the degree of separation for a 240 on tripod? 15 degrees, right? So if this is my left limit, these guys have to be 15 degrees off of this. They need to be further up there. Okay, but obviously this is a perfect straight line, straight road. That's stuff that you guys need to consider, but that's a good point. Yeah, regardless if they're behind, like maybe there's a brick wall right here, like it's still not good practice, like they still have to be outside that 15 degrees, okay? So they conduct their cloverleaf around, and they need to find their assault line. We'll just say their assault line is going to be right here. It's a good spot for the assault. Same thing, good observation fields of fire on the objective, good cover and conceal withdrawal routes, avoid the enemy flank, and left and right limits, and a tentative LOA. All right, recon's kind of done at that point. Then they're going to pick up and move back to the RP. Okay, so you have Alpha team up here, left side security. You have Bravo team down here, right side security. Then you have a machine or a saw gunner and a grenadier. So that security squad leader, okay, that's what I was saying about the comms plan. They have a radio. They have a radio. These guys just have a radio as well from the security squad leader. So the security squad leader is going to be there at that point. Traditionally, I probably should have said this first, is when you drop that S&O team, you can leave that security squad leader there, or you can take him with you. That's just going to depend on what the PL wants. Does he want more security when they're conducting that leader's reconnaissance, or does he think it's more important to have a radio at that position while the reconnaissance is ongoing? It's up to you guys, okay? All right, so recon is complete. They're moving back to the RP. They just got to the RP. What is the PL doing now? Radioing up to the platoon sergeant to let him or her know that they're en route to the RP. And what is the platoon doing in the ORP?
Going from tripod to bipod.
No, well, they're moving from the long haul posture to the short haul posture. If you want them to go from tripod to bipod, go for it, if they were on tripod. All right, so recon element just came back into the ORP. Disseminate any information, afford the squad leaders that time. These guys should be already camouflaged up. Ruck plan should already be ruck should be in the center. Everyone should be ready to go. All right, so order of movement out of here. What is going to be the order of movement? So what is our typical order of movement?
Security squad.
Security squad up front.
Gun one.
Assault
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 one.
one.
Gun two.
Gun two, assault two.
Assault two.
Okay, so if we just take out security squad, that is your kind of order of movement, kind of. You just need to offset the PL1. What's up?
Do we still have the point man from security squad with us?
No, I mean, you can, but I would say no. I would say no. You had all the squad leaders on this reconnaissance, so they know where they're going. You're not wrong if you do. If you want to keep that alpha team leader, you just got to figure out where is he at. Where is he? Is he going to be on left side? Is he going to be on right side? Because you need that guy out there with you. Okay, so I would say no. All right, so assault 1 and assault 2, they're going to pick up. PL is going to be behind assault 1. Platoon sergeant is going to be behind assault 2. The gun's going to be with the PL. The other gun's going to be with the platoon sergeant. All right, so they hit their RP. Kind of the same way they set up their ORP, just hastily assault 1, assault 2, guns and guns. What's up?
In the past, we've left people with the rucks.
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, so if you guys are planning to come back to your equipment, which you guys will, you guys cannot just leave those rucksacks unattended. You have to leave some type of security squad or security element from there. Okay, and that kind of goes back to how many people you want on left side security and right side security. So currently you have 3 people at each. And then you have your 2 at S&O. So if you wanted to, you can take 1 from here and 1 from here and put them at ORP security. You can do that. Or being that assault 2 doesn't really have a huge play in this, you can take a team from assault 2 and have them be rucksack security. A minimum of 2 have to be there. You can take 2 or you take a whole fire team from assault 2. Doesn't matter, but you cannot leave those rucks unattended. Okay, so we're at the ORP, or we're at the RP. Who's the first people that go and set in?
Support by fire.
Support by fire. Okay, so weapon squad leader is gonna get his 2 machine guns. He's gonna say, hey, PL, we're good to go, weapon squad is up. PL's gonna be like, all right, go ahead, go set in. Weapon squad leader takes his weapon squad. They get to their PLD, gun 1, gun 2, they start moving in. Did we give a occupation of support by fire class? Did I not give one to you guys? Pretty sure I did. You guys don't remember me doing that with you?
No.
Am I fucking going crazy?
Yes.
I could have swore I gave it to you guys. Maybe it was last class. Maybe it was last year. Fuck, I
A
don't know.
refresher would be nice.
Anyways, so the way that it's gonna happen, right? So here's your PLD, right? So you have the gunner, you have the AG, and you have your AB. Okay? You have 3 people in a machine gun team. If you only have 2, it's fine. If you have to have gunner and AG, it is what it is. Okay, and the same thing's gonna happen over here. AG, AB, and then the weapon squad leader is in the center. So that's how you want your weapon squad arrayed. That weapon squad leader is leading from the RP to the tentative, or to the actual support by fire location. All right, so I'm the weapons squad leader. I am up front. I have my gun 1 and a wedge behind me, and gun 2 and a wedge behind them. Okay, so I know where I'm going. I get to my PLD. I'm gonna get on E. Halt. And I'm gonna send like a little, get online. Gun 1's gonna get to my left, and gun 2's gonna get to my right. We're gonna just kind of be online. All right, we're gonna get in the prone. Okay, so gun 1 is gonna come up and set up his gun first. All right, gun 1 is gonna come up on bipod. So gun 1 crawls up, they get up here, they get on bipod. All right, and I'll show you the technique of how we actually crawl up there. So these 3 people and the weapons squad leader are on the line. All right, you have the option to have gun 2 go on tripod right now before they make their way up to their position. Okay, so behind the PLD or at the PLD, doesn't really matter. They go ahead and get their 240 on tripod, and then they start dragging it up into place. So now you have gun 2 set up on tripod. Rounds are linked, they're ready to fire. Then, once gun 2 is there, then you tell gun 1 to go tripod. Gun 1 puts their 240 on tripod. Now you have both machine guns on tripod. The weapons squad leader will show, hey, this is your left limit, this is your right limit. Gun 2, this is your left limit, this is your right limit. This is TRP1, this is TRP2, this is TRP3. Okay, when we shift fire, gun 1, you're gonna shift from TRP1 to TRP2. So if his primary sector of fire is between TRPs 1 and 2, and gun 2's primary sector of fire is from TRP2 to TRP3, if this is 15 degrees when we shift fire, the only gun that needs to shift is gun 1. Kind of off subject, but regardless, that's kind of how you brief that weapon squad or that support by fire, or kind of the sequence of events. Like, this is what's happening at this phase of the operation. This is what happens at the next. So you're just kind of talking through what's happening until they're clearing across the objective, and we'll go into our withdrawal plan after that, okay? So once everyone in the weapons squad knows what's going on, they've been briefed, then the weapons squad leader calls up to the PL saying, hey, support by fire is established at this time, okay? When the weapons squad leader leaves and they get to their actual support by fire location, the weapons squad leader can call up and say, hey, we're established, we've reached our support by fire, and when they're actually set up, ready to fire, then hey, we're occupied, we're ready to go. Once that's done, then what happens next? Assault, all right? So after support by fire is set up, Assault 1 and Assault 2 are gonna start making their way over to the assault line. Same thing happens as support by fire. You're gonna get online, you're gonna get your PLD, okay? Everyone's gonna kind of be evenly spaced. You're gonna make sure that you have good control, who's gonna be controlling what. So in the Ranger Handbook, or not Ranger Handbook, when we talk about moving across the objective area, you guys are either gonna be moving, bounding in buddy teams, bounding in fire teams, so you guys already know how to bound across the objective, so we don't need to cover that. All right, so Assault 1, the assault line is gonna be mixed between Assault 1 and Assault 2, it's one line, okay? So who's ultimately in charge of that assault line?
PL.
The PL, okay? So we haven't really talked about where people are kind of arrayed on the objective. It's kind of more important when we talk about raid or attack. Ambush, it is what it is, but that PL is ultimately in charge of that assault line. So you can have the PL roll with Assault 1, the platoon sergeant roll with Assault 2. Some people keep their platoon sergeant up here at the support by fire. I'm not a huge fan of that, because what does the platoon sergeant have with him? Or the medic, okay? So, and where are you most likely to take a casualty?
Assault.
On the objective, right? I'd be kind of shocked if support by fire took casualties. This happens, but if it were up to me, I would have the platoon sergeant with Assault 1 in the vicinity, or with Assault 2 kind of in the vicinity over here. And the PL with Assault 1. Okay, everyone's online, and we're pretty much almost set. Okay, so everyone's already camouflaged up, they're behind cover and concealment, they understand like, hey, this is my lane. My lane is from this tree to that tree. I will stay in this lane at all times. Okay, so after assaults online and set up, what's the last thing that we have to do? Set a claymore. And who sets that claymore? The PL. Okay, I've seen an SOP where if this were a linear objective, you have the S&O team go set it up. But since this is not a linear objective, wouldn't recommend it. All right, let me just clean that up a little bit.
Sorry, why would the PL set up the claymore?
Because it's his show, man. He's got to know exactly where he wants to kill the enemy. He's established his kill zone. He knows where these guys are firing. He knows where assault is on line over here. So he wants to center that claymore in the center of his assault line, okay? And we'll just extend this out, assault 1, assault 2.
So you set it up like right on the edge of the.
No, I wouldn't. I mean,
In the middle.
what, the claymore?
Yeah, like on the edge of the road, or like in the middle of the road.
Yeah, so it's a shape charge, right? So it shoots out kind of at, can't remember the exact degrees, but you want to try to put that claymore where you're going to get most of the steel BBs or whatever's in there to maximize the effects on the objective. So on the other side of the road, maybe a little bit further into the woods, maybe. What's up?
How do you hide claymore effectively?
You just camouflage it.
Just like, can you throw shit in front of it? Or is it
I would
like-
put like foliage, like grass in front of it, but nothing like a rock.
Yeah.
You know,
And then-
but the key thing is you want to make sure that you put that thing in front of a tree or something that's behind it. Does that make sense? So if I was a tree and this was my claymore, I put it here, not over here. So it doesn't fall down and it protects, there's nothing that'll fly back. Nothing should fly back, but in the event, you want to have that tree there.
So, when you set in the claymore, do you want to have like a 2-person like security team with you? Go down and
Yeah, so I would just take my RTO with me or my assault 1 squad leader, take them with you. All right, claymore set, now what do we need to do? We wait, right? Because in ambush, we pick the location, they pick the time. Okay. All right, so the enemy's coming, left side security sees them, calls up the platoon leader, everyone's ready, and they get to hear. When do we initiate that claymore?
The majority is in the kill zone.
Yep, when the bulk of the enemy force is inside of that kill zone, you initiate. Okay. We haven't talked about it, but you guys are tracking what a PACE plan is, correct?
Yeah.
Primary, alternate, contingency, and emergency plans. So primary is claymore. Second or alternate is what? Whatever you guys want. Just make sure you guys brief that in your op order, because Murphy can happen and that claymore might not go off. So in the event that claymore doesn't go off, then it's a single round from the PL as your alternate, a whistle blast is your contingency, or just something else for emergency. All right, so the enemy forces, the bulk of the enemy forces in the kill zone, claymore, 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 they initiate the claymore. Who's firing after that claymore goes off?
Everyone.
The support?
Everyone.
Everyone? Yeah. I've seen 2 different ways of doing this. I would say having the support by fire just shoot and assault not shooting is one way I've seen it done. But the preferred method for an ambush is everyone is shooting. I think for a raid or an attack, it's different. I think only the support by fire initiates for a raid or an attack. We'll get into that when we give you the raid and ambush, but the answer to the question is because you don't want you want the enemy to fixate on the support by fire because we're not detected yet. The assault is not detected. Ambush, we blew up that claymore, we're there. Everyone knows we're there. So.
If your claymore doesn't go off and it's facing towards the objective, would it be safe to go in front of that claymore? Wouldn't it therefore be like?
So there's misfire techniques, or there is a misfire procedure for that claymore. You basically just reset the clacker, try it a couple more times. Normally what happens for a claymore that doesn't go off, it has to do with the shock tube. The shock tube could be bad. So what would happen in the event is if you are briefing if you brief that, if that claymore doesn't go off and you're gonna shoot around, then you need to unplug that clacker, and as you're way up, you need to remove the blasting caps from that claymore. It's not a battle drill, but you can make it an SOP of like, hey, if this happens, when we start moving up, before we cross that claymore, we need to remove the blasting caps from the claymore. It takes 2 seconds. You just go up and take them out. Okay? And then I would push that claymore into the ground. So if it does go off for whatever reason, it shouldn't, because the blasting caps aren't in there, but the projectiles will go down. Okay, everyone is shooting, support by fire shooting, assault is shooting. How long do we shoot for? Until they're dead. Okay, so when do we initiate our assault across the objective?
They try to flee.
Say that again.
If they try to flee.
Okay, if they try to flee, what did you say?
Can't hear them anymore.
You can't hear them anymore.
Shoot back. To shoot back.
Shoot back. Okay, so if the enemy is reacting to you, okay, so you didn't kill them all. If you shot a whole bunch and you're not hearing anything, or that's basically it, right? If the enemy is not incapacitated, you need to make sure that they're dead before you assault through the objective. Or if some little guy got away and is trying to flank you guys need to initiate that assault. All right, for this case, we shot everybody, we waited, we don't hear anything. PL says, hey, we're gonna assault. All right, so how this is going to work. When we hit TRP1, what needs to happen with our support by fire?
Shift fire.
They need to shift fire, okay? And for the scenario that I briefed, kind of shitty, doesn't make any sense, but gun 1 will shift from TRP1 to TRP2. Okay, as they're making their way across the objective, once they hit 15 degrees off of that, they're shifting fire down to TRP3 or they're lifting fire. Does everyone understand how that works? This is probably the most dangerous thing with an ambush or a raid is when you are getting close to someone's fires, fratricide. You don't want to shoot your own people. I've seen it happen, not a good day. All right, so that is the huge thing. Before you guys start moving, okay, so in the event you get to 15 degrees off of TRP1, and I call my PL, or my PL says weapon squad shift fire from TRP1 to TRP2. The way that's going to sound is you're the PL, I'm the weapon squad leader, okay? So I'm at the support by fire, you are at the assault line. So tell me the weapon squad leader to shift fire.
Shift fire.
All right, I got you. All right, so if I'm the weapon squad leader, hey, shift fire, shift fire, shift fire, or shift fire from TRP1 to TRP2. My weapon squad, my AG, the person in charge of that gun, is telling that gunner, hey, shift fire from TRP1 to TRP2. So the gunner is now shifting his fire from TRP1 to TRP2. The AG is now adjusting that tripod, so in the event he sneezes, he farts, whatever, that gun cannot shift back into, it's funny, I know, the gun cannot shift back left anymore because we readjusted it, okay? After he's readjusted that machine gun, that gun team leader, or the AG, is gonna check to make sure he can't move that gun any further left. After he's done that, he's gonna tell me, the weapon squad leader, hey, gun 1 is shift fire left, or confirmed. Roger that. I'm the weapon squad leader. PL, weapon squad leader. Gun 1, or weapon squad is shifted fire, confirmed. Now I'm the assault. I'm assault 1. I'm waiting to hear that over the radio. Once I get that confirmation that they are shifted fire, then I send my guys. Okay, I take that very dear to my heart because I've seen someone get killed from that. They called shift fire, they heard the PL call shift fire, and they moved before they got confirmation that they were shifted fire. Because the way we do it in Ranger Regiment is if we are shooting and we get a shift fire call, that machine gunner is laying down a suppressive fire, shifting his fire as he's going to his next TRP. So he's actually laying down a wall of lead as he's traversing. And they didn't get that confirmation, and that gunner was doing what he was supposed to do and shot someone, okay? So just get confirmation before you guys go. Boom. All right, they've shifted fire from TRP1 to TRP2. Same thing, they're getting closer and closer and closer. We call up, they shift fire again, we get confirmation, and now they're pushing across the objective, Okay, as they're pushing across the objective, what are we doing as the assault line?
Taking weapons away while we're talking.
Yep. We're making sure they're dead. We're staying in our lanes because here in Cadet Command and other units, people like to funnel in. They like to funnel. Okay, so although the PL is in charge of that assault line, the squad leaders and team leaders on that assault line are in charge of their soldiers and making sure that they're staying in their lanes. Okay. Yep, kicking guns away, making sure they're dead, getting to our LOA. We're at our LOA. What happens next? Security. What else? Fresh magazine because we just shot a whole bunch of ammo. Get your lace reports. Do we need to cover lace reports again? Liquid ammo, casualties, equipment. Lace reports are sent up. What's next?
Special teams.
Special teams. What are our special teams?
UPW.
UPW. Aid and litter.
Demo.
Okay. What are we looking for EPW?
If they're sensitive.
Yep. How are we gonna clear, give me an example if you are the PL and I am EPW team.
For how you clear it?
Yeah, I'm here.
Let's
Go.
say you zigzag outward and then clear in.
Okay, so clear out, search in.
Oh yeah, clear out.
Roger that, sir. All right, let's go. Boom, then we go. Okay, so we cleared out, we're searched in, and then I got a whole bunch of shit on me. What am I doing with it?
You're going to bring it back
Sir,
to...
make a decision. What am I doing with this
Bring it
stuff?
back to the PL and give me all the shit.
All right, cool, I'm out. Is that what, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have a cadet from University of Iowa, Birmingham, just come up there, hey, sir, I got your shit.
Yeah.
I'm out, all right, cool. You gotta be precise, you gotta tell them exactly what you want. And that goes back to rehearsals, it goes back to training your SOPs before you guys actually go out in the field. Okay, so when you tell them clear out, search in, looking for X, Y, and Z, I want you to bring this stuff and drop it at this location. Because that is gonna be the location of where we're gonna blow this stuff up. All right, EPW, aid and litter. How do we, what's the order in which we treat casualties? U.S. military? Civilian, non-military?
U.S. civilian, NATO.
Okay, you guys got that. Rock solid. Boom. And then what's next?
Demolition.
Demolition. Okay? Doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna blow it up. We're just gonna render it safe. And then after that, we go into our withdrawal plan. Okay? And what do we use here for our withdrawal plan? Red, white, and blue. Okay, what happens on red? Yep, where's the platoon sergeant and medic?
At the apex.
So this is one of the things with the differences between an L shape and a linear ambush is where does the platoon sergeant medic go on a linear ambush during the withdrawal plan?
They're kind of between the support and the assault, but they're behind both of them.
Yeah, they're typically at like the just past the near side of the road on their way back to the RP. So when you make that choke point, they're going through it. But now that you got guys all over the place, you need to figure out where's that choke point going to be. So who is actually going to be going through that choke point? Everyone except
Security.
security, right? You can have them go through the choke point, but typically on an ambush, it is a quick, violent attack. You're gonna get that stuff and get out as fast as you can because reinforcements could be on their way, right? So we'll just say for this scenario, after you hit your LOA and you're going through your withdrawal plan, on red, they go back, white, they go back. Maybe you just do your choke point right here, okay? Because who's the last people that come off the objective? Security, right? So is this guy down here gonna move all the way up here? No. I guess maybe you could move it, but are these guys gonna have to come all the way down here and go through the choke point? Not necessarily, all right? If you guys plan a withdrawal, the ambush is not a planned withdrawal. A raid is a planned withdrawal. For an ambush, you just need to get off the objective. So all I'm really concerned about as a PL is the guys that are actually on the objective. So Assault 1 and Assault 2, and the PL and platoon sergeant. Weapons squad leader is the second most senior NCO in that platoon, so I would be like, okay, weapons squad leader, you can get your guys back to the RP, I know. Got it, okay. So red, Assault 1 picks up, goes to the choke point, establishes some type of security. Gun 1 goes from tripod to bipod. On white, weapons or On white, assault 2 picks up, moves back, and gun 2 goes from tripod to bipod. And then on blue, everyone, the security picks up, moves back, weapon squad picks up, moves back, and then demo, if you are blowing a charge, you're gonna pop that time fuse. All right, once you guys get back to the RP and or the ORP, you'll get your final accountabilities check and make sure you have everything before you guys actually depart the objective area, and then on your way back. A lot of people forget the security guys back in the RP, like, oh, I'm missing 2 people, you know, they're in the RP. That's ambush.
During that whole situation, once you've engaged the enemy, when are you rating up to higher?
Good question. So at advanced camp, okay, you're not gonna be calling up to higher. You'll be calling your cadre member that's standing right next to you. Real world, what's gonna happen is higher headquarters is gonna be constantly hitting you up, asking you for updates, and just like, you know, stand by, sit rep to follow, like we're in the middle of contact. Like, they can wait. I'd rather you be more invested into the actual fight on the objective versus trying to send up a report. Like, you can just say stand by, that's fine. But at any point, any key point throughout the operation, you're sending up a report. Like, hey, we've reached the RP. We are going to set in the SNO. We're moving to and place the SNO. We've set in the SNO. We're just update them, paint the picture because they don't see it. Okay? What's up?
So does the PL control the assault bounding since he's waiting for the confirmation for the shift fire?
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those things where I'm a squad leader, but yet I'm not in control of my squad because the PL is ultimately in charge of it. It's kind of like one of those things where you just understand, you know your place. At the end of the day, you are in charge of your squad, you're just not physically making the decision to bound. You are waiting for confirmation from the PL that fires have been shifted or lifted. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where you're controlling your squad, but you're not controlling your squad.
So PL would actually say like assault 1.
Assault 1 bound,
assault
yep,
2.
and then assault 1 squad would be like, all right, assault 1 pick up down.
Okay.
Same thing, it's just like you're a glorified like RTO, you're just relaying information from the PL. Okay, what happens if the PL gets shot? Who takes over the assault? PSG. So that's why it's good to have that platoon sergeant near the objective versus up on the support by fire. Good question. What's up?
For Thursday, would you like us to teach linear or L shape?
Linear.